Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome back once again to the Please Understand podcast, Minnesota sports for the casuals. Boy, we got a big one tonight. Maybe not a big one, but a tough one, we'll say. Even by Minnesota sports standards, that was a tough weekend. We're used to getting shit on a lot.
Yet again.
But man, can we come up for air like one of these weekends? Like, Jesus Christ. The Vikes, the Wolves, Gophers, everything. I mean, somehow the Twins are coming out of this looking real good by just not doing jack shit, I guess. But are we back in our comfort zone? I feel like, we've been doing this pod now like weirdly for a few years. Time flies when your teams never win anything. But we've kind of had at least one good team. Mainly, I mean, the Wolves have been pretty solid throughout this, this era of ours. But now I wonder, I mean, are we back getting to our sweet spot here? The Vikings are a train wreck. The Wolves are just a disgrace night to night. Go for sports. Why do they even exist? We've been over that. Twins, a lot of positive vibes coming out of Target Field. Hopefully the balance sheet's still looking nice. That, of course, most important. So a lot to get into tonight. We'll probably start Vikes, go to some Wolves, try to hit as much stuff as we can along the way. Cozy on up in the live chat. Give us some questions. We'll stop what we're doing and answer them. We don't care how dumb they are. It's kind of right on brand for what we're doing. There are no dumb questions. So
that's
subscribe to the feeds, subscribe to the podcast feeds. We got the Spotify barcode up here on the left for everybody to reference. So if you could dock into that, that'd be swell. 5-star review, it's the holidays coming up. Let's try to do right by one another here this season. Vikings, fellas. Oh man, every week we come on here like, don't panic, I'm fine, everyone's fine, no, nothing's fucked.
The house fire slowly gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
That fire will burn itself out. I wouldn't even worry about it. We want the one thing we wanted. We talked about it last week. Like, season's kind of off the rails. Can we at least beat the Packers? Get anything here? And I don't even know if that could even be considered rock bottom, but that was a pretty firm bottom we hit in Green Bay. And now you're just seeing all the stats coming out about McCarthy. And then the news on Monday, as much as we were all, Vikings Twitter, everybody's like, it's like both Vikes and T-Wolves Twitter is like at civil war going on. It's not a friendly place to be, but you see the stats of like, and just the names that JJ's getting tossed in with now, like Jamarcus Russell, like, we're trying to find our quarterback of the future. And there was 6 quarterbacks taken in the first half of that draft. It's like, okay, not only did we maybe find the worst of the batch, but this might be the worst quarterback drafted in the first round of a generation, potentially. So the news is he's now in concussion protocol, right? Soft benching, hard start for Brosmer. What do we think? What's happening?
It's tough, man. We've come on here for weeks and just like, be patient. It takes time. And it's just like the games are just not even enjoyable right now. They're not fun to watch. Even like the Bears game, he led him on that last second drive, took the lead, obviously lost on the field goal, but that wasn't a fun game. The Falcons game wasn't a fun game. This Packers game, like, my God, this was the first game. I don't remember the last time a Vikings Packers game I've like skipped ahead. Like, I was a little behind, on the DVR or whatever. And it's like, what's the point? Why even subject ourselves to this? When you're almost, I guess I haven't looked at, updated today, but are we like dead last in total offense? That's an embarrassment when you have Justin Jefferson on your team. I mean, take the running game out of the equation, and Hawkinson's a shell of his former self, and then Addison. But when you have just Justin Jefferson and you're that bad, like you're behind like the Titans and the Raiders, and that's embarrassing, dude. So I don't know, Jake. What do you think about McCarthy now? I'm starting to freak out a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. This is the Vikes are just like bad team 101. They fix a couple things one week, and then new things probably go wrong, and then the following week the things we fixed last week are now going wrong again. But we fixed the other things from last week. Just a rotating wheel of just problems. And that's just how you know you're not going to get any success out of this team for the rest of the season. But for JJ, I think we said we were at a 5 after he got hurt last time. It's now a 6. It did go up. Threat level orange. We're getting a little darker, but I'm not giving up yet. I still see a little bit of potential with this. I don't know. I feel like it's just way more going on than it's just JJ going out there and just absolutely just putting out a turd, which he is doing. I'm not defending him at all. He's by far the worst quarterback in the league, and that's Jordan Love plays in this league.
So drive by.
Hey, get
that
your
won't be the only one
10.
tonight. That won't be the only one.
It's horrible. Don't get me wrong, but there's a little bit of faith left in me, and it's sad to say. It's like he's probably here unless he's hurt again, which is another reason it's gone up to 6. Is we have a concussion now, so that's sick. Another missed game probably. So who knows?
What is
man?
giving you the faith? Like, I feel like this is where a lot of Vikes fans are just like, there's nothing here to hold on to for hope with what we see week to week. So I'm just curious what you're clinging to. Is it just because he's so young still?
So young, 6 games. That's the coachable things is what he needs to fix. It's not like the team leader. It's not the mentality. He's got all that, the game prep and everything like that. It's just the coachable things, I think, in game plan stuff. Obviously, he's overthrowing the ball a lot, which is stuff you can work on and learn. Then there's somebody put out some tape about all his throws this week, all 25 of them. And it's like broke down of what actually went wrong and what kind of went wrong. And it's like, it's not as bad as the live action that we saw. So if you actually stop and look at it, it's like a little better. It's not anything good, but it's not like, holy shit, how is this dude in the NFL?
It's like footwork, mechanics, just progressions. I mean, it's tough, man. I actually want to ask you guys a question because I know we're going to get into Brosmer if he ends up starting here, like if McCarthy is out with the concussion, which, I mean, brain injury, man. You don't want to mess with that. So if he's
real
in,
or not.
what if he? Now, I'm not saying he goes into Seattle and wins. I don't think that's going to happen. I actually feel like this could end up being just an ass whooping. We've seen Seattle put up like crazy amounts of points at the beginning of the games, and their defense is really good. But what if he just goes out here and just looks competent? Like, what if he throws for 225 yards or something and just looks like decent? And now you have the situation next week where JJ comes back. Do you just let him keep playing, or do you have to like immediately go back to JJ? What do you guys think?
Man, if you have any signs of life, you're going to let that guy ride it out, I think, for a little while. If Brosmer does look pretty decent, because it's been so bad. You can't even like play a football game. The quarterback play is so bad. Like you just can't, you're not even on offense. your best offense, you're hoping it's not a turnover, and then you can punt and hope for some weird shit to happen against an actual team. Like we clown the Packers, we hate them. Like they do have a pretty solid defense. And the Seahawks are going to have the same. So it's like, if he's able to just do anything, I think JJ just needs to probably just chill. And if this is the one where, like, I don't know, like we could break down which soft benching is the softest. I feel like this one is a little more sketchy even than the last one where he's out. But like, you know, that's what we were talking about the whole time of like, you know, what do you do with his development if he's hurt every other week? Then you've got a real problem on your hands. But in my opinion, it's just like, well, we're looking for the quarterback of the future. I don't care how we find it. If it's Max coming in and playing well, great. And I know everybody's made the comparison, like the Purdy situation. Was that the same
that's
year?
kind of crazy.
They drafted Trey Lance that they also brought in Purdy, or was that like the next year? Maybe I'm not sure.
Next
exactly.
year after. I got some stats here if you want to hear them. How weirdly
Spit it.
similar they
Fire
are.
it.
So Trey Lance and JJ McCarthy drafted in the top 10 after a team traded up for him. Inactive 20 plus of the 30 games due to injury. And then sub 55 completion percentage for both of them. Brock Purdy, Max Brosner, written off, undrafted, or 262, Mr. Relevant, pretty much undrafted. Acquired 1 year after Lance and McCarthy. First start week 13 of their rookie year. Just weird comparisons.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, creepy.
Almost scripted.
I think we all just want to see
Script?
anything,
Goodell?
right? Like it's, that was the other part where you think, this is what was talked about. Like, what a landing spot with KOC and the weapons they have, investment in the offensive line, which has been, an issue, and then they get back healthy for a little while, and then I think we lost the left side like midway through. Not that they've been playing great anyway, so that does make it tough. But I mean, JJ's just shown us nothing, and then like his pocket awareness is terrible. Like all these just red flags are popping up, and it just makes me wonder, just like, what was the process here? Was there a disconnect between front office and head coach? I don't think we're getting the full story.
Right.
I don't know if it's KOC that maybe was preferring a veteran, and we saw that play out with like a, one-armed Carson Wentz starting like multiple games. It's like a torn labrum. We're like, that's a better choice.
Isn't it funny? Like if you go back on our pods and listen to all the talk about Carson Wentz, it's like night and day compared to what JJ's doing right now, which is crazy because he was not playing well either.
Yeah, it's been bad all around. But if Max can give you something, I think you just let it go. Let him continue to play.
But
I don't think I think JJ
what's 2 wins instead of losing the rest of the games? What does that do?
Well, I'm not saying we're going to win the games, but I'm like,
what does Max do though if we don't play a little bit better? I feel like we got to get JJ out there to know now if we have something, not just sit around and wait on this. Max,
well, I'm saying if he's hurt,
like a much lesser percent that Max is the guy here.
Well, I don't know about that because JJ's percentages are plummeting. He's shown you nothing. I don't know that he's like throwing him back in there like the way he's just obviously not prepared to be a starter. And we're talking about what do we got? 6 games left for this season. It looks like he needs years of development. So it's like you also got what you think is a pretty good roster around the quarterback position. So then it just is like, well, how long can we wait to address that? Or how long are we going to wait for him to show us something? Because, these guys like, Quezzy, we talked about him being on the hot seat. KOC, it's like these guys are fighting for their job. So it's like, the rest of this season, I guess, yeah, if depends on what Matt, he'd have to probably look pretty good to continue to finish the season. I would say. But
it's all
realistically, what do we like? Is JJ really going to show you so much in the last part of this season that they're going to be looking at all possible alternatives, I think, in the off season. And what are those? Like Mac Jones? Like that doesn't really get anybody too excited, but we're back playing that veteran roulette again.
I mean, like what needs to happen? Let's say JJ misses this one game and then is able to play the last 5 of the season. What does he have to do for them not to go looking for somebody else at this point? Because I know we want to be patient and stuff, but it's like you said, we haven't seen much. And I do agree with Jake that like if he's healthy, we probably should play him. Like that was complete hypothetical. Like if Brosmer plays really well or something. But it's going to be an interesting offseason if you don't get much more out of him this season. I think all the cards on the table. The Wilfs, man, they don't like to wait around. Like they want a winning team. I mean, we've seen that year after year. They don't bottom out very much. Maybe one time that I can remember, maybe twice in the entire time they've owned the team, they bottom out, but it's pretty rare.
It's time for that though. We've done 2 decades for a competitive rebuild and it doesn't work. So if we're going to bottom out, we might as well throw out the guy that we're trying to invest in, see what he doesn't have, and then move on.
Right. For the rest of this year. I'm saying like if
plug your nose and just put it in there.
What's going to happen?
I think that's what most Vikings fans are just worried about is actually not doing a competitive rebuild, and it's actually time to, hey, sorry, we might be bad for a little bit here, but it's got to do something because the competitive rebuilds is just an endless cycle of just absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And that's why we've talked about this, the whole Darnold, Danny Dimes situation coming up. And it's like, congrats to those guys. But it's like, dude, I don't know that either one of those guys is going to get us to the mountaintop. Like, sure, of course, Darnold looks like borderline MVP, but like, what did he do against the Rams, right? Like, that was exactly who we
showed his colors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
and also,
you got to go back to the well and try to find this guy. And maybe it isn't JJ. Keep trying.
But I don't think it definitely wasn't Sam either, because the last 13 games, which includes all of this season, the last 2 from last year, this new stat, this EPA, at least is new to me. The expected points added, I think it is. It's kind of like the MLB's WAR stat. And for the 13 starts of the quarterbacks, Sam Darnold is still by far the 2 worst starts out of the last 13 games. And it's not even close to McCarthy's numbers.
Was that Rams and what? The
Rams and
both
Lions
Rams
game.
Okay.
Those 2 games are by far the 2 worst on the last 13 games. And then it's McCarthy, Wentz, McCarthy, Wentz. Because I'm just saying.
What a run we're on these past.
Look at us go.
McCarthy is bad, but sadly Darnold was worse in his last 2 starts somehow. So that's
and the red flag.
You want to see 400 yards and 3 touchdowns? Cool. That doesn't mean a win either. So
yeah, get Mullins in here.
Well, for Darnold, it's like as soon as it becomes time to face really, really good teams, that's when those performances show up. And that's why I'm sure that they were like, hey, you know what? Go get your money. Thanks for your service, but we're going to go elsewhere here. The concern I feel like with the Vikes is just like the process of all of this just seems like it was really botched. And the backup QB situation as well. Like you should have been out trying to find the best possible backup for JJ. Like, it sounds like there were mixed opinions on whether he was ready or not. Maybe they thought, I don't know, if like Sam Howell, quickly they realized he wasn't the answer. And then what if Max goes out and looks awesome on Sunday? Then I'm going to be like, well, what the fuck are you guys looking at in practice at all?
Right.
That's almost another indictment on their ability to to assess the talent they have at the quarterback, which you would think is outrageous for like a KOC, but I just don't really know like how this all played out. And then I can't remember the exact date, but like they call in Carson Wentz like real late. I don't know. Was that was in like the end of training camp, or was that even like the season already start? And you're like, hey, this is gonna be the backup, I guess. And it just, I mean, predictably, like this could not be going any worse, like all the way around. Shout out to our guy Andrew. Very similar to the Dillingham situation. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like,
compared it, yeah.
Rob versus JJ. Like who has the higher probability of being a bust when it's all said and done? I mean, it's
probably
hard
JJ,
not to go with JJ right now.
His is a little more important of a job than backup point guard. So
yeah, but at least Rob's showing you something out there. JJ, it's just like running for his life. I looked this up a minute ago. Like he's closing in on the NFL lead in interceptions in like his 6 starts.
Right. And not a whole lot of games.
But Gino ain't gonna have that shit. Gino's got us. Hold it down, buddy. He's got 13. I guess Tua's got 13 as well. Those guys are slinging it. Oh. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's Brosmer. It is, and hey, that'll get me to tune in. These JJ starts, that's what we were saying. I'm like, man, at least we can, watch him and see how he develops, so on and so forth. And then you're like, oh my God,
it's just unwatchable. It's
so bad. Even the announcers are like, this is the worst half of football I've ever seen. And then Greg Olson, he goes, historically bad ball. I was dying when he said
Greg Olson. He had another comment about like at some point you have to make NFL plays or make NFL throws, and it was like, he looks like especially last week against Green Bay, it just looked like a high school kid out there, just completely overwhelmed by the situation.
And that brings me back to training camp and preseason. We put him in for like what, a quarter of preseason, thinking that was enough. Like he
That was
needs
it.
every rep he can fucking get.
Yeah.
And they didn't really assess that very well either. But sometimes, you know what? It's just like season from hell. And Jake, you were talking like competitive rebuild. Even if you do got to bottom out a little bit, NFL, there's enough parity. I think a lot of the time where like you aren't in the cellar like that long for the most part. Some teams like, but the teams that are the ones that can't find a quarterback. So that's where I think Vikes fans are concerned, and you know we're not used to that. As you know, as much as we complain about never winning a Super Bowl, like we're usually feeling a team that's thinking playoffs pretty much every year, and then you put this guy in at quarterback, and it's like, man, this is a tough sell. This is a tough watch. Who's going to pay for this? We talked about Kwesi last week. Seems like, you know, the torches and pitchforks are at a minimum out for this offensive line coach, especially when you see, you know, we talked about it as well with like
coach
Ed Ingram looking decent, even Bradbury for the Patriots. Some of these guys that were just like complete disasters for us have found new homes, and then we spend all this money on our offensive line, and I don't know that the production's there. I'm to the point where I would just shut Darisaw down for the year. He keeps playing 45% of a game. It's just like, what are we doing here? I know you want to protect the youngin back there, but he doesn't have any pocket awareness as it is. So like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, that's the other thing to be kind of concerned with going forward is, you know, obviously the quarterback, if you can't hit on that, if you can't find that, that's the biggest problem you can have. But the kind of lack of young talent after that is concerning, because like these guys, every one of them's getting older. Like Darisaw, that I feel like it's a big concern that he can't stay on the field.
Like, is that injury, does that diminish him going forward? Like, is he never going to be that same player again? I'm a little bit worried about that.
And O'Neal, you know, Harrison Smith this has got to be his last year now, I would think. Like,
what
like they were like, hey, bud, come back. Yeah, it's
come back for this shit show
there. So it's I will still say, like, what was the final? Was it 23-6? Yeah. Seven of those points were essentially handed to Green Bay when we fumbled that punt inside the 10 or the 5. So the defense still is holding up, but even at the same time, Green Bay is just like, we know that your quarterback's not going to do anything against us, so we're just going to just run, and we'll get enough points to win. So we probably didn't see their full arsenal, which I kind of wish we would have, because Love would have handed the ball to us a couple times, you would think.
Didn't even make him throw. Shout out to one of my fantasy teams with Jordan Love this week with a solid 6 points, and last week
that's on you, dude.
At Justin Herbert get me a solid whole point. So I've got 7 combined in the last 2 weeks, and we're just doing.
You're killing it. Good.
11-1.
Congrats.
Yeah, he didn't even. I guess I got the box score. How many times did Jordan Love even throw? 21, I guess, for 139. I mean, that was just the lamest football game I feel like I've ever watched.
Thank God it went quick. It was just a lot of running, and it was over. It was over by like 2:45. So right.
Vikings did run the ball. That was the best part of our offense, and we decided to bail on it very fast.
Right. They did run it. I think they ran it in the first half.
Twice,
the most
second half.
No. Yeah. Right. It was the most rushes in the first half in like the KOC era. And then the second half, they're like, nah.
Once that fumble happened, right? Didn't Green Bay, they started with the ball, right? And we got a punt. I think it was 10-6 at that point. And then we just give them the ball inside the 10-yard line and 17-6. And now you're like, well, how do you stick to the run at this point? It's like, well, look at your other choice. You better fucking hand that thing off. He's got a nice handoff. Let's give him a little credit.
Hey,
shout out to our best player, though. Yeah, use those hands more. Our best player, Will Reichert. Hopefully, he can get to the.
You know what?
Close.
I wanted to bring that up.
Jalen Redmond, those two.
I wanted to bring that up. Like, we've waited, our entire lives as Vikings fans to just hit on a kicker, like a consistent. I think Longwell, he was here for a while. He was really good when he was here, but like, we just hit on a kicker and have him for a long time and be really good. And here we are. And what did we have to trade for it? The rest of our team sucks. So victories. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we'll worry about that later, I guess. But yeah, You know, you mentioned the defense. They're holding the line as long as they can, but at a certain point, it's just like, dude, we're kind of on a suicide mission here. Like we've got to house a pick or a fumble just to even try to feel like we can stay in it.
Really hurting us is the turnovers. I think they have 3 interceptions all year.
We're not
2
forcing
in one
any
game.
Yeah.
No, we have no turnovers on defense, so you can stop them all you want, but we need turnovers, man. Especially when we got a quarterback trying to give the other team the ball every chance he gets.
Yeah, you feel like you're starting in the hole already. It's like we got to get to just a fucking break even here, and now we're giving them away in special teams. We're even giving them away in that
Miles. Come on, dog.
Yeah, that's tough. So if we're heading to Seattle, they haven't announced it. JJ's not going to start this game. Like if you go in protocol, like you're out for a week, I think at least. I didn't
Sometimes
go in.
More.
Didn't look really to see. You know, there was that video where he ran. It looked like he got hit and was slow to get up. What point of the game was that in? I think it was
5 minutes left in the fourth.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not like did he even come back in?
I think he came he finished up
first
the drive.
Down. Yeah, finished that drive, which was probably 3 incompletions, and then we were out.
Or
the pick, actually.
Better than a pick.
It wasn't maybe.
So I don't know what the line opened at. We're 10.5-point dogs in Seattle.
It's the most. I don't remember the year. It was the most in like 20 years. That's the biggest. 10.5. Wow. And the last time was in Seattle because, we go there every year. So
every year, I hate to make our annual pilgrimage out to Seattle so underhanded. Too bad. Oh well. Yeah, we'll see what Max has to offer. It will be interesting to see what he looks like relative to what we've seen from JJ. But yeah, Jake, you're probably right. Like, season's lost. As bad as it looks, and as pissed as everyone is, like you might as well just throw the kid in there, and like you got to use these as valuable, reps for JJ. And the thing that's tough is like he appears to be getting worse. So it's like I guess the Bears game, like that's a bad defense, but you see a Green Bay defense is decent. Seattle, they have a good defense. He's obviously not going to see them. I think we've got Lions and Packers still. Pulling up the schedule here. Seahawks, Commanders, bad defense. That's maybe a spot for him to return. Maybe a possible soft benching after that at Dallas. Their defense is playing a little better. At Giants, their defense is bad. Lions and Packers. So nothing. I mean, yeah, you got to just kind of live with the results at this point. I mean, from their perspective, though, it's like this is an embarrassment, man. This is really a laughingstock situation because, of course, it is
bad.
Why wouldn't it?
Unless Max goes out there and just balls on Sunday, which I doubt it's going to happen, but he could. And then if JJ goes back the week after and it's what we just saw the last 2 games, then pull him, because you're not even learning anything at that point. You're just looking like an idiot out there. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to argue earlier. Is like, is it beneficial
too soon
to just put a lamb out there to the slaughter if he's just so unprepared? And then, what do you mean by ball out? Because relative to what JJ's doing, balling out yards might get us back. Like, get me back to that comfy Carson Wentz, 225 and 2 TDs and a pick, and I'm kind of feeling pretty good. But what does that get you, right? Like
why? For what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So worst draft pick? Tight.
Yeah. So you're right.
We will win a game. That's how it goes. We will win a game that we're not supposed to, and probably screw up some sort of a draft pick. That's kind of how it goes. But I mean,
has anybody dabbled in the mocks yet? I finally did this past week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you learn anything?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I do want this tight end from Oregon. Of course, they have him mocked to the Chiefs, but he should be around when we're drafting, because that sounds like Hoganson is.
Hoagie.
Enjoy the Hawkinson farewell tour. I'm sure he's going to be flanked out there next to Justin School for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah,
enjoy that.
Tough.
A lot of chip blocks, and wherever he'll land, he'll have a resurgence. We've seen this before.
I just want to quick shout out to all the people watching live. Toss us a comment if you want. We're going to be talking some Wolves coming up pretty soon. So throw it in the chat.
Yeah,
How are you guys feeling about these squads? Because
we're in this together.
I feel like we're in this together. This is a safe place for you guys to vent. So
no
let it
dumb
out.
questions, only dumb answers by us.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah,
that's our
casuals.
guarantee to you.
It's the casuals here.
Any last Vikes thoughts? I just looked here. We're 21st in the ESPN power rankings, so that makes me. I'll sleep better at night. Just ahead of the Dolphins. That's great.
It is ESPN, so that's probably a little high, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, it's probably terrible. All right, let's go talking some Wolves here. Boy, we really let a Golden Cup opportunity slip through our fingers. Friday night, was it? It feels like that game was forever ago, but it was just Friday night. And then, you know what? Hey, who wants seconds? They pretty much did the same exact shit last night against Sacramento. Like I mentioned in the beginning, for anybody tuning in now, civil war going on in Vikes Twitter to a certain, or Wolves Twitter and Vikes Twitter to a certain degree. And the Fire Finch movement. I know everybody, as soon as, we end a game with an extra timeout in our back pocket, we're calling for his head. But this time does really feel like it's a little more serious. Do you guys agree, or is it just ebbs and flows? This is just how shit goes with this team, or is there something to the Finch movement?
I don't know, man. As funny and hilarious it is to text you guys Fire Finch at every inconvenience we see during a game. I am not on the Fire Finch bandwagon. I think he is a really good coach. I think he's just stuck with stupid players, and that's can't teach a rock new tricks because they're just no brain, and that's what we have as a team of rocks.
At what point is he responsible for that? He is the coach. That's part of the job, right? But when we're seeing these guys make the same mistakes year after year after year, like, isn't he somewhat responsible for that?
He definitely is, but I think the good that Finch has is even better. Like, his player development that he gives with our young guys I think is one of the best in the league. His teamwork and the chemistry in the locker room, awesome. It's just, the guys are just idiots, man. And they're just, I don't know what you have to do to get it through their head, man. But it's literally been 2.5 years that we've seen the same dumb ball night in and night out.
But I guess the flip to that, dumb ball, but we've gone to the Western Conference Finals twice. So it's like, I mean,
I can pick apart those postseasons at any moment. Just let me know. I don't think they're that much impressive.
Well, I mean, compared to what we have in the rest of the league, plus our history of never making out of the first round. I mean,
I'm taking them. Don't get me wrong. But we beat a pathetic Suns team that was really doing nothing. Then we beat a downward spiral of a Denver team that we just match up well against, so we've always had their number. Following year, we beat a shitty Lakers team, and then we beat a Steph Curry-less Warriors team. It's nothing really that awesome, and I'm going to hang that banner. That was a sweet, really huge momentum thing. But
Final Four banner. NBA.
We did get to the Western Conference Finals, and I will forever remember that as a Wolves fan. But you could break it down and be like, hey, this isn't that sweet. We just got hot at the right time, maybe made a little run.
And both finals were not competitive at all. That's the other thing.
No,
too.
Just a cakewalk for the other teams. We got
one
good game.
The Thunder one was, and the last game of the Dallas one was. But I think the Dallas one was pretty competitive for the most part. You lost a lot of games at the end, up until Game 5. That was a blow.
4-1 is basically what I'm saying.
Right.
It's 3-0 right out of the gate. 2 home losses, of course, to start.
Yeah. Close games though. It was a different situation than the Thunder. One, so
we got the belt. No way around it.
Yeah.
So Finch, I mean, it's like my whole thing with him this whole time is I think he benefits from our history being so bad that it's like, well, why would you get rid of the best coach you've ever had? It's like, well, the bar is quite low. So, I mean, that's working in his favor. And, it's not that he's a bad coach. I just have never really thought this is the guy to get you all the way to the top to win a ring. I don't think he's that kind of a head coach. And certainly when he's got a team of players that are low IQ basketball players and he is unable to fix these mistakes in any way, shape, or form. It's the same, but we say that like they play the hits all the time with the turnovers, and Ant just, no matter what the consequences, will not box out. That's a non-negotiable for him, and nobody's been able to get him to do it. We saw Steve Kerr talking about it in the Netflix show, and Ant's reply was, he's like, Finch is always on my ass about it. It's like, they all know all that kind of stuff. So, and that's what I was going to get to, is like, well, if you are going to suggest moving on from Finch, then it's like, well, then who is it? Right. And I think the easy, maybe not easy, but like the common answer is Mike Malone. There's connections there, I think, with Connolly going all the way back to Denver. I think that would be maybe the front runner. He's won a championship, but you look at the way he exited Denver and you're like, well, does that give you a lot of great feels to it? And plus, Ant loves Finch. So it's like, do you want to upset the apple cart in that regard and piss off your franchise player potentially after you've already traded Cat? But then the other name I would suggest, and I was going to mention this to you guys at one point, because he's been on the broadcasts, the FanDuel broadcasts, his college coach, Tom Crean. I'm wondering if he's sniffing around, seeing some of the sloppy basketball that's going on, and thinks to himself, hey, maybe I could make some tweaks here and get this team firing, as optimally as possible. And every time you hear him talk, it cracks me up. The first fucking thing he ever says is just how atrocious their transition defense is. And it's so obvious that he just has to say it. And Finch has never been able to get that corrected either. So should he get all the blame? Of course not. But it's like, that's always the person that takes the fall, fair or unfair. Right.
A couple things off of that. Mike Malone, first off, how much of it is Mike Malone? And yeah, he won a championship, like all credit to him, but how much of that is to the player? Because like, look at who's in charge now. Adelman's kid, and they're just playing just fine. Even in the playoffs last year, they took the Thunder 7 after they fired their coach with like 8 games to go. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. Nothing really like, it feels like a lateral move if you fire Finch for Malone to me.
And it feels like so then why do it?
Exactly. Unless there is just like a real obvious name out there, I don't feel like that's the answer. And also we're talking, I understand there's things to fix, and it's been tough doing that. I don't know if that's some of assistants having more, some other assistant come in. I'm not sure, but they're still 10-7. So it's not like the ceiling is not falling out. It's not the same as us just talking about the Vikes a minute ago. It's not quite the same situation. They're still going to be a competitive playoff team. But you look at some of the things with Finch. Why I didn't watch most of the game last night. Why did Jalen Clark play 6 minutes?
Why was Conley closing over Jaden McDaniels? Like, that's the stuff where I'm like, dude,
weird.
And it was one of those Jaden nights where it was like he was kind of,
he didn't have it.
He did not really feel like he was involved in the game. But it's like, you know what? I still kind of want to have this guy out there. The other name I guess I didn't mention would be like, you could just turn the keys over to Mike Inori, right? He's been sought after throughout the league in recent hiring cycles. But the other part of this too is it's frustrating, and this is just kind of like a rite of passage for us Wolves fans. Like in the last probably 4 years with this group, every year we're like, man, look at that schedule starting out the season. Oh baby, and we just kind of grind through it with a bunch of bullshit like this all the time, and they figure it out and they finish strong, but never quite strong enough. And I don't know. Yeah, probably that's not all to be, applied to Finch. It's probably not a very easy roster to, I think we mostly complain about some of the late game stuff, the offense, like having Rudy in there on offense, like that can't be easy to work around.
When you have to bring Joe Ingles in to throw an inbounds pass who never plays, that feels like a problem to me.
And last night, you see why. They just gave him the friggin' ball at the end of the game, Julius. They're just their head is not in the game. These guys don't know how to get open, and like you can always pick apart, like, should we have called timeout here? Should we have called timeout there? Both of these most recent collapses, it's like, I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around to damn near everybody. And
Every
Finch
single
should get
person has
some.
blood on their hands. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he should. Ant get some. Everybody does.
I will say, and this is almost a negative from what happened against Phoenix, but it's kind of a positive of like, it's more so the vibes of Wolves Twitter when these disasters happen. And it's like, it's one game out of 82, 2 games now, the 82, but we dwell on it. We're freaking out about it. Like the sky is falling. These players don't seem to give 2 shits at all. They're on to the next
Nope.
the next game. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if they played OKC really tough tomorrow night.
Right.
Because it makes no sense.
That's what we talked about that in comparing to Vikes a few weeks ago. We're like, well, for no reason they'll go beat Detroit. And then they did. And you're like, yeah, nothing makes sense. The rules are all made up. And I mean, you look at Sacramento, right? They lose Sabonis. And not only they beat us, but they just beat Denver in Denver. So
Scheduled
it's like,
loss.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That was a very obvious post-cup hangover spot for Denver. Okay.
Sacramento must have got the memo. Well, they got the memo about the altitude. So
intensity. Yeah, they must have.
Yeah.
But I can't remember last time we lost to Russell Westbrook, and he was doing all he could to help us as usual. But
yeah.
I mean, it just turned into one of those classic, the game last night against the Kings, Ant with a bunch of dribbles and then a bad shot at the end, and
hijacks the offense and then throws a grenade to somebody with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, Tale is old as time, unfortunately. And that's another part of his game where I'm like, God, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, are we seeing his first ever season of like maybe leveling off? But that's just mainly me just kind of looking for every little thing in his game that I want to see improvements all the time. Right. It's like, doesn't always just work that way. Right. Like, if you look at his numbers, I'm sure they're still like, he is coming off of a little bit of a shooting
40
slump.
Bombs.
Yeah, that's right.
0-2.
I mean, exactly. So it's like, he's still, I wouldn't be like, hey, he's leveling off by any means. I mean, it looks like he's carrying plenty of the scoring burden, but it's like, I think the stuff we're all looking to see is just more of the feel for the game type stuff. Getting to more of a comfortable spot on the floor in clutch situations where, like, if you watch last night, like DeMar DeRozan knew every fucking inch of that court where he was trying to get to. And then on our end, it was kind of like, well, let's dribble a few times, see what we got. Are we going to call a screen? And they're just going to trap it anyway.
I feel like it would have been nice to have Jaden out there because Jaden, for some reason, has gotten to his spots this year. And I feel like he's very confident in his twos. I know he's missed, like, I think 10 3-pointers in a row. He was the best 3-point shooter in the league. But I feel like at the end of the game, when you like need a bucket and Ant's kind of going crazy like that, you can get Jaden the ball. I feel just put him in the paint and give him his little hook shot or a little floater there. And I feel like that could get one bucket like that, and that can get the rest of the team going fast. So we shoot ourselves in the foot so long by just missing these wide open shots every now and then. And I feel like just that brings everybody down. Doesn't matter who's shooting it.
Yeah, it was just one of those. It was too bad to see from Jade because those were the games you were hoping we had put behind us. So I guess I can see why Finchy was like, of course he goes with Mike. Mike was out there because he's just like, dude, I got to have somebody who has some ball IQ out here to try to get this thing back to the crib.
Bad turnovers by Jaden too, but still, it's just like you gotta still play your man though.
What do we have to put in a fire and sacrifice to get Derek White on this team or a player that's like him? Because man, do they need a guard that can play 35 minutes? They just do a point guard.
Yeah, and Dante was up to some shenanigans. Like he's kind of, is he a front runner? I don't know that I trust him against the really, really good teams. And then he has all these great performances, I feel like, against the lesser competition, which easy to point that out with the schedule we've had so far this year. But last night, again, wide open 3, clanked it in a key spot. I don't trust him to make any big shots ever. even though he did hit a pretty big one against the Suns. So I don't know. Like, and I'm looking at Ant stats, like looks like his this year, of course, career high in field goal percentage. So hey, we told you guys docking in the chat. We're casuals here, right? Eye test guy through and through. Don't trust the numbers.
Andrew says here, Andrew Dukowitz. If you guys don't follow him, he's throwing some comments out here. Definitely follow him on Twitter. He covers Wolves links.
Provided us for me video. That Rudy video was even more than I would have dreamed. Watching him just drag a guy around on a cart.
I don't think I've seen that yet. You guys have got to send that to me. I missed that.
I'll find that for you. I got it bookmarked.
Yeah, so easily be able to dig that up.
Andrew fires in the chat. He's comparing Ant to Houston James Harden. Can he not play with another star? Does he have another star?
Man.
Does he have another star right now?
A lot of Harden videotape into the season.
That is interesting.
Harden 2.0, just a great score, but can never win a championship or play with anybody else.
No, I think he's got a different.
That would break my heart.
Harden has there's a different mentality. I don't know that Harden really has like the dog that Ant has. Like I know they lost the Phoenix game, but when you see Ant, when you see these guys fire him up like Dillon Brooks did, and there's a little something extra there.
That Dillon Brooks.
What do you think?
Did you see those guys at the end of the game when he went up to Ant and they were kind of doing like that was, given the circumstances, like pretty good sportsmanship. I'm like, man, Dillon Brooks has this. I feel like he's got this weird dependency where he's like, I need this. I got to bring this shit out of everybody to get my fix on the court. Like, because he went up and like thanked Ant for like their exchange. I'm like, man, this guy is sick in the head. Yeah. What the hell is this guy's deal? Yeah, the Houston Harden stuff. That's interesting to think about. Because I mean, it feels like Ant does just need the ball in his hands a lot, even though he is a good catch and shoot player. And that's another thing where I'm like, are we unlocking all of his game yet? Because the stuff you don't see out of Ant that I think he would be so good at is as a cutter. You know, if you are going to play off the ball, if Julius is operating on the elbow or on the wing back and, you know, doing one of his classic 5 dribble back downs.
The offense. Yeah.
But it's like nobody like cut, you know, I feel like if Ant, you know how much gravity he would suck in if he were to cut a little bit more, but it's just kind of those extra effort kind of plays. I don't know that we see that until the games ratchet up in playoffs. Right. And like all the shit I complain about with boxing out. And they're like, why are the Wolves so much better than because they do all that other shit. They run back on defense. They give a fuck. They don't always do that in Sacramento.
Well,
even though we've won like 8 straight there.
What was before the last 2 losses? Was the last game before that the Wizards game? Is that right? Does that sound right?
Which felt like a loss. Classic Wolves win that felt like a loss.
So after that first stretch of the season where you were like, man, we're seeing a lot of lazy ball. They went on a stretch where they were really playing well on both sides, moving the ball, playing defense. And that Wizards game was the first one in a while where you were like, why are they back up to this? Like what? I don't understand. And they've absolutely carried it into the last 2 games. So that's kind of what's tough to see is, and that's the stuff we're talking about. Why are you so lazy in some of these games? I know it's hard to get up for 82 games, but you can't get up for a cup game?
Oh,
man. Come on.
The Suns did hit us in the mouth in a cup game. Speaking of cup, can we salvage the cup tomorrow night? If we beat OKC, I mean, that's going to really...
What a different conversation we would be having.
Throw a wrench into this thing. I just want to see them compete and just play hard and play them tough. Like, you can't be going in there and getting your asses kicked by OKC, but it would make a lot of sense or it wouldn't make any sense, but it wouldn't surprise us because it just shit goes that way with this team. Like if we go in and beat them and then who do we play the game after that? We'll probably lose that one. So, but this is the one we had Andrew. He's been tossing a few comments in here. Was this over the summer? We talked about, we had our like schedule draft and like, this was the one we were all like, waiting to see when it came out, like first matchup with OKC. Well, here it is tomorrow night and no less a cup game. So, I mean, if that doesn't get you up and we got to see it, man, let's turn this thing around. But that's just like we said, it's just kind of ebbs and flows of a long season. It's easy to just look at OKC, what 17-1, and like everything just goes perfect all the time. It's like that's not usually how
also the second easiest schedule in NBA history that they are on right now too. So
are they really?
Not give them any credit. Yeah.
I mean, we played the Suns in the fraud game. We were like second and third in schedule, I think. And then
give us that Thunder schedule. Wolves are easily maybe 9 or 10 wins right now. So maybe not 17, but
they show, and then the Kings, I don't know who hates the Kings. They've played OKC, Denver, and the Wolves 3 times each already. Their schedule, like, strength of schedule is like double.
I did not know that.
The second worst. Yeah.
Damn.
That's why Doug Christie in the press conferences every other night is just yelling at everybody. It would be good. I am excited for the game. Like, one thing we were going to talk about is like, do we got to reset our expectations for the season? I mean, we came in, I think we were all agreed. We got to consider this a successful season. Like, another elimination in the Western Conference Finals isn't really going to cut it. So, but it just seems like we kind of are who we are. And you mentioned Derek White. So it's like, do we have to make some sort of move to feel like we can get over the hump, or what are your thoughts? I mean, I'm kind of now like, I don't know if I'm getting all bent out of shape after all these games anymore.
Yeah, it's early. I think a move, if you want to make that next step, I think a move does need to be made. I don't know what it is, but I mean, just looking at the box score last night, it's like you're not getting anything out of your bench other than Naz Reid. I think he had 15 last night. The rest of that bench is giving you nothing. TJ Clark, only 6 minutes. I think that's just that. I mentioned that earlier. That's garbage. He has to play more.
They were trying to get Shannon and him in the game.
Him's getting you nothing. Yeah.
You didn't let any of those guys get a rhythm by playing all 3. So can you go with a 10-man? I like that they're giving Rob the opportunities because he's kind of but you got to play Jalen Clark, especially in games when like you don't feel like the intensity's there. And that was evident real early on when we're having Dante throwing like alley-oops in transition that are getting knocked away. It's like, all right. They're not too serious here tonight. So it's like, get Clark in there.
I know you mentioned in passing, I don't know if it was last week, but would you almost like start Jalen Clark and bring Dante off the bench? I mean, Dante's not handling the ball anyway. Like it's Ant and Julius, Jaden a little bit. I feel like Clark coming in there and setting the tone early would be a huge difference, especially when you have Jaden's a great defender. Rudy's obviously a great defender. Ant is when he wants to play. If you add Clark to that, like you come out of the gates and set the tone early. And to me, like that's a simple change that could be made just to get out of the gates early in the first quarter.
And he doesn't need the ball. That's that part.
Yeah, that's the best. Or we have the number 2 4-man, Ant, Jaden, Rudy, and Jules on defense and offense net rating. So we just need a point guard, man. That's huge, I think. And I think Clark doing that because nothing's expected him on the offensive side besides hit your open jumpers when they come to you sometimes. Yeah. But it's like I feel like that change's got to happen. And then Dante can do his little catch and shoot thing from the bench. I think he might be more fitted for that. I don't know. Something needs to change though. I know Phil said it's an early sample size, but we've been seeing this man for 2-3 years. It's the same team, guys. Nothing's changed.
We thought we just they had a little something figured out with we saw for a week or two. Oh, Nikhil. Yeah. As soon as I hear that,
every time Nikhil gets brought up, it's like I just want to everybody just wants to shed a tear.
Stops me dead in my tracks. I've been watching a lot of Hawks games.
I know you're just talking your mid thought, and then you're like, oh man, Nikhil.
But what I was gonna say, the first week or two, we saw all these numbers of the Julius Naz Reid defensive combos and how bad it looked. And then they figured out to mitigate that, get them paired with Jalen Clark and Jaden. And they completely went away from that last night. And they got absolutely gashed when Rudy was on the bench. So that's the stuff where I'm like, Finch, what are we doing here, man? But to your point about the bench, he's still tinkering a bunch, I think, with a lot of this stuff. With like, which one of these young guys is going to give me something consistently, which we all see Jalen Clark doing that. And then he
Right.
got a quick hook and didn't really get back in. The only time he came in was to commit away from the ball foul to completely F us in the end of the game. So it's like, God, even he's making mistakes. It's like, God, this is just can't
you
get
go
out
back
of our own way.
Right. And you go back to the end of the, to talk about Clark some more, like you go back to the end of that Suns game. And I know like that whole thing happened in such a flash. I like wasn't even mad. I was just like, what the hell happened? That was absolutely insane, that comeback. But you're up 1 after Ant misses the free throws, and you obviously need a stop. And Jalen Clark is not in the game. Arguably your best perimeter defender. And he's not in the game. That made no sense to me. And Dante got cooked, and that was that. But that dude needs to be playing a lot. And it's kind of, when you see 6 minutes, man, that is just some nonsense.
You hear the term in football all the time. We're like, God, that guy's a playmaker. And NBA, you say like the guy, he just makes winning plays.
Right.
Because he will find something out of nothing, a putback. He'll get a steal out of a backcourt inbounds. He's the one guy on our team that'll go get a fucking loose ball. And those are the little things that add up over the course of a game. And so you got to be able to carve out minutes for that dude. And it's too bad how things have gone for TJ to start this season, because we thought we really were onto something based off of how he performed in that OKC Western Conference Finals when he got thrown in there. And it just has not carried over at all. So it sounds like the foot was an issue for a lot of that time. So let's hold out on that for a little while at least. But yeah, maybe that is an answer. Just slide those slide that production into the bench column, kind of cook the books a little bit and see if you get some different lineup combinations going together as he's continuing to tinker with stuff. But I guess last thing I'll just kind of throw out, I am very curious to see who plays well against OKC tomorrow night. Who can handle that pressure? We've seen some games against pressure, like the Suns were applying it. They were playing very aggressive defense to start that game. Took us a little while to get a lather going. And then obviously we all remember that opening night in Portland where we're like, we're about to play a whole season without a guy who can dribble. Isn't that great? So you mentioned the point guard too, where it's like, Ant's kind of the point guard against the really, really good teams. And you do feel like you need a point guard. And then I turn on the TV and I hear Rick Pitino saying the point guard's dead. So there's a lot of coaches that just think like it's just evolved into a different position. Like the Chris Pauls, the Stocktons, the table setter type point guards, not really a thing anymore. Like you can certainly still have a point guard, but like you got to count on that guy to create his own offense and score.
That's fine, but then you need ball handlers then. And Dante is not a ball handler. He's just not. And you know what? Jalen Clark's not. Terrence really isn't. The guy you want to be is Rob, but he's not. Doesn't seem ready for the moment. So that's why we keep bringing up point guards. Like you need another guy to handle the ball, and we kind of just don't have that.
Yeah, which is another.
And the point guard too is the IQ player for the most part on the team, and that's what we really need. Somebody to come out there and just be our dad and walk us through, tell people where they need to be, run some plays, don't hijack the offense, don't take dumb shots, and just run the offense actually, and just control everybody, get to where they need to be and stuff. That's why we need a point guard. I can see the whole point guard being dead thing, but not on this team. This team needs a point guard. It needs somebody telling them what to do and how to do it every single play.
You need prime Mike Conley.
You need,
yes, we do.
Well, what do they always say about coach on the floor? Doesn't always have to be a point guard, but that's why Conley is always getting thrown in there as like a safety net. Because Finch trusts him. He's like, he can get us organized, and I trust him to get us into our offense. But like, you can't really play him against OKC. That's like, I don't know if you can go back to that well tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. And then that's another thing where it's another conversation about the roster. We kind of knew all these issues off of the result from last year's playoffs. And it's tough when the bar is OKC. Like that's a tough one to clear. So I don't know if they got the assets to try to make any big deals. I'm not.
Somebody big would just have to be going out. That's your biggest thing. You'd have to make a decision because it's Rudy, it's Naz, it's Julius. It's one of those three going out. That's just how it would have to be.
We talked about this with Andrew as well, where it's like, and the guy that gets you the big point guard in return is actually Jaden. So that's the tough decision.
I don't think we need that though. We don't need the big guy. We don't need the score. We have scores. We have hoopers. We need a game controller. That should be cheap. I've been preaching to you guys, Dennis Schroeder, man. Give me him.
I would.
Not going to be expensive. He can run this offense and he can hit his shots when you need them, man. We need like a Rajon Rondo. That's what we need on this team.
Oh man,
we don't need a Chris Paul. We don't need a Curry. We don't need the best point guard in the league. We just need a point guard.
Yeah.
Andrew brings up a good point. Julius and Naz can't be traded until January 15th. So that's what the new new contracts. So Andrew holding down the comments.
Second apron. Fuck all that.
Yeah, I know. Andrew holding down the comments tonight, man.
I don't think that's even apron related. No. I just blame it for everything.
Right. Damn.
My fantasy football team sucks because of this fucking second apron bullshit. I'm already out of fob. That makes no sense.
Hey, another shout out though. All the people hanging in here with us. Once we start talking Wolves, we started climbing in.
Everybody just needs therapy with the way all these teams are playing right now. Guys,
I'm very butthurt right now. I will be the first to admit that.
This is a safe
Dennis Schroeder. We'll see if we maybe the buyout market can save us. Maybe it's a little better because of the apron.
Usually that wins you a championship, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody post bail. Shout out Pat Bev.
Yeah. Damon Jones. Stay in shape. Oh, okay. It gets exhausting talking about these squads, but I'm excited for the game tomorrow night. I should look up and see the spread here. I'll look that up. Do some shout outs. Then we could probably do some shout outs, and then we got to hit the road.
Yeah, I got one. I'll fire it off first. I'm guessing somebody else is going to have this one, but we got a shout out to Jameis Winston. What we knew, we've been counting down the days until he got a.
Why didn't we get him?
Giants. I know. We can't do anything about that now. Yeah. We were counting down the days. We were really hoping he would beat the swine, and fell short. But coming out and catching a 30-yard touchdown, that was just something to behold. If you haven't seen that, go look it up. That was awesome. Obvious number one play of the day. So shout out to him for just, making Sundays a little more enjoyable when your home team kind of sucks.
Who doesn't love Jameis?
I know.
Guy's awesome. Wish we would have got him. Could have really used them. Real quick, 8.5 point underdogs tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. So
close.
Not bad. Jake, any shout outs?
I got nothing, man. I'm just numb over here with all this fun I've been having with these Vikes and Wolves. I just
You're all
hate
out.
Everything.
He's got no shout out.
All right.
FUs to the Vikings and the Wolves, man.
Yeah, any apologies for us to the Suns? That TikTok, those comments are still coming in.
No, because Devin Booker still is not better than Ant, and Devin Booker still did not do anything in that game worthy of anything. So, I mean, they got bailed out by our stupid play, and he fouled out with 5 minutes to go or something like that. So.
Not even 9 turnovers.
Dude,
I'm very good.
Miss me with that shit. Devin Booker's not on the same level anymore. Sorry.
Gillespie, who don't confuse him with Archie Diacono, just cooking us. That was tough. But you would have thought they won the Super Bowl when they were coming for me in the comments for sure.
It was a cup game. What? It was a huge cup game for them.
That's true. It's a
cup them ahead of us.
Man. You should know that.
Big cup game. I get it. I let him roast me the whole weekend pretty much. Of course, as soon as I uploaded that, I basically killed our chances at the cup. That's my bad. So I'll apologize for that to our fans, but not to any of the Suns fans.
No.
Congrats on peaking in November. Good job, guys. My shout out, Sammy Valimaki finally cashes me a 60-1 outright dub on the PGA Tour. Been betting him every week. Finally got it done for me. I don't know if you guys saw the end of that. I had to go 3 TVs because he came in with a 2-shot lead going into the final round.
First world
And
problems for you over there.
they teed off at like 9:30. I don't know. They're always trying to avoid NFL, like to the point where they're now talking about
Avoiding their own
lopping off
fans.
like 6 tournaments, getting rid of 6 tournaments next year potentially, or something like that to start 2027 after like the Super Bowl. Like, what are we doing here, PGA? But 2-shot lead.
know.
He's got the par 5 coming up, or it was a 1-shot lead. He's got the par 5. There's one guy the guy that's behind him trying to post a number, Max McGreevy. He's got like 35 feet on 18 to try to post 22 under. Sure enough, you better believe that went in. So I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me here. And Sammy did birdie the par 5. So then he had 3 holes left, up only 1 now. And 16 misses the green, short-sided, tries to putt it up the fair. Like, he's got 20 feet for par now. I'm like, this whole thing is fucked. Drains it. I'm like, oh my God. I guess I deserve it. Eye for an eye. What did Shaq say when Derek Fisher hit that? It was like one lucky shot deserves another. That's basically how I saw it. So it's like, hey, we're even. So fuck off, man. All right, boys. Any last thoughts, or we can get to this cup tomorrow night? We're still alive. Got the best differential in the group. Just need got to win. Win or stay home.
Yet another must win.
Yeah.
Always a must win. Well, last thought, the people that joined us tonight, if you're not following the pod, Apple, Spotify, this will be up tomorrow if you want to catch the whole thing. But we appreciate it. Trying to just grow this grassroots thing. So appreciate you coming on.
Yep. As always, fellas, it's Minnesota sports. We're all trying to
we're all in it together.
We're all trying to get through
cope
this,
and deal with it the best we can,
especially around the holidays. Oh man,
it just makes it so much better.
And we're gonna have swine on Thanksgiving Day. Maybe any thoughts on that? I'm still trying to cook up a parlay. I don't know what's what with that, but it's maybe the best Thanksgiving slate we've seen in a long time. And I think Joe Burrow may even be returning.
Yep.
It's
funny because after all the back and forth with the Lions last year and their fans and stuff, it's like seeing the swine and the Bears ahead of them. I'm like, man, go Lions, dude.
Yeah, your Bears, another emphatic win.
Don't even start with
we'll
them.
Talk about that.
Terrible.
All right, signing off. Everybody be safe over the weekend. Have a happy Thanksgiving, folks.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Next time. Peace.